Do you have any plans to make your municipality as number one municipality of the country?
Can you please tell me what exactly constitutes communication gap between two parties involved in a dialogue?
How would you make Delhi a safer place for women?
How do you think the emotions are playing a dominant role in current world order?
While preparing budget, what component does Finance Ministry takes in to prepare the budget?
Can I come in?
Yes, come in.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, I'm Satender Singh, and I come from Amroha, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my graduation from St. Stephen's College. I have done my master's and MPhil from Jawaharlal Nehru University. I have taught at the University of Delhi for 4 years, and I have cleared civil services 3 times. Currently, I am working as Commissioner, Mahe Municipality.
You are working as a Commissioner Mahe Municipality.
Yes,
how do you find your job there?
It's a wonderful job, sir. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's kind of fulfilling work, sir.
What is your job profile as a Commissioner?
So I'm supposed to be looking at the municipality issues ranging from solid waste management to street lights, road construction, etc.
Do you have any plans to make your municipality as number one municipality of the country?
So we already have been ranked as number one in terms of cleanest district by India Today, and Honorable PM has appreciated us. And we are now striving to become the first circular economy in India.
Okay, what all good works you have done at your level so as to win this award?
Sir, I joined last month, so it's been just 1 month. But what I have done is I have installed the anonymous feedback boxes at various locations. So those feedback boxes basically give us a real reflection about ourselves, what we truly are, and they really help us. And one thing interesting that I found in Mahe is the people writing you appreciation letters along with the complaint letters and etc.
Okay, how funding takes place in your municipality?
So we are imposing taxes, entertainment tax, advertisement tax, etc. And we have certain fundings for certain programs like Swachh Bharat Mission and NULM from central government. And there are now certain grants from the Puducherry government also.
So you are a cash surplus municipality, or you have still funding constraints?
We are a self-sufficient municipality, sir.
Self-sufficient. Do you have any plans to raise funds through green bonds and all?
That we are not looking forward, sir. My first priority in that municipality is to ensure sustainability and circularity, and then we can go for green funds only when we need funds. Right now, we do have funds at our disposal.
Okay. Tell me, you have opted for PSIR.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? What is the doctrine of pith and substance?
Sir, I do not recollect it. It has to do with the judicial pronouncements.
Are you speaking based on conjecture, or you are clear about it?
No, I was reading on the functioning of judiciary, and there I had come across these doctrines of colorable legislation.
If I give you a hint, that is, suppose it divides the extent of legislative powers between the center and the states, will you get any cue from this?
Sir, I will not be able to answer that.
So it's okay. Why our constitution is considered as a lawyer's paradise?
So there are various reasons. The first reason that comes to mind is the vocabulary, the kind of jargon that has been used is very difficult for common men to understand. Secondly, it's a lengthy constitution having various clauses and provisos and clauses and provisos. And thirdly, it is written in a way that only a lawyer can really interpret it in its desirable form.
Do you think that our constitution should be rewritten?
The constitution need not be rewritten, sir. The same constitution, same substance, same meaning can be conveyed in slightly simpler and lucid language.
So, which is why I asked you this question. So, you want it to be written in a simpler language, isn't it?
Yes, sir, with the same meaning intact.
Same meaning intact,
Yes, sir.
okay. What is the basic structure doctrine?
The doctrine of basic structure stipulates that there are certain basic features and basic structure, some substance to the Constitution, the essence of the Constitution, and that essence should not be compromised while amending the Constitution.
So do you think this basic structure doctrine should keep on evolving with the passage of time?
So the Constitution in itself is an evolving document. So it's a living document, it's a thriving, living document. It just keeps evolving to suit the needs of the time. So I think it makes sense for the doctrine also to evolve within the limits.
Can you imagine a country being run without a constitution?
So there have been countries which have been run without written constitutions, and there have been countries which are being run without any constitution, so to say that the whims and fancies of the dictator are the law. So there can be countries like that.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Singh,
Sir.
you have mentioned in your DAP that public speaking is one area you passionately follow as your hobby, right?
Yes, sir.
And we all understand the criticality of effective communication.
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me what exactly constitutes communication gap between two parties involved in a dialogue?
So the communication gap gets created when the intended meaning is not transmuted or transferred. So that can be due to the gap of language, that can be due to the generational gap also. There may be various categories of gap. But communication gap is when the message is not really conveyed in its true sense.
Okay. Since you have studied political science,
Sir.
let me ask this question. You know, the collegium system has evolved over a period of time, and it has navigated through different judges' cases,
Yes,
ranging from judges case 1 to case 4, right?
Sir.
Can you please tell me what is the subject matter of case 4, fourth judges' cases, which was delivered in 2015?
So that was on NJC, National Judicial Appointment Commission. So the government came out with a bill wherein a commission was created to ensure judicial appointment, transfers, etc. The Supreme Court struck it down, citing that it is against the autonomy and independence of judiciary, which is a basic feature of Constitution.
Okay, Supreme Court has reiterated that primacy of opinion of the judiciary in appointment of judges in higher judiciary is a basic feature of the Constitution.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
You must have studied about Right to Education Act 2009, which provides for free and compulsory education in our country for students from 6 to 12 for 14 years of age, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me, this particular act provides for 25% reservation to disadvantaged sections of society. What exactly, as per the meaning of this particular act, constitute disadvantaged section of society? Who all are there part of this?
Sir, I'm not really aware of the technicalities and the minute details of the disadvantaged categories, the 25% category.
No issues, Mr. Singh. You know, recently Supreme Court of India has decided that there will be subcategorization of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, insofar as extending the benefit of reservation uniformly across different caste cover under this is concerned, right? While we have a system of creamy layer concept in OBC, why can't we go for subcategorization of OBC community in our country?
Sir, I think Rohini Commission was mandated to do that. And it does make sense to subcategorize even OBC category, because there are certain castes which have benefited more than the others. And it does make sense to create that subcategorization and transfer certain benefits to the lowest, most strata and the people who are most deprived.
Okay, can you please establish the relationship among three articles of Indian Constitution, 355, 356 and 365?
Sir, I'll come to 365 first, which ensures that the government in the states should be carried on in accordance with law and constitutional provisions. 355, I'm not very sure, sir, but I'm willing to make a guess.
Yes.
That is, it it is upon the center to protect certain properties and also
No. It casts upon the central government an obligation that it has to ensure that administration of the state is carried on in accordance with the broad provisions of the Constitution. Okay, fine. And then
And
356.
356 is an article where the union government has the powers to impose the president's rule, if they're satisfied through the report of the governor or otherwise that the constitutional provisions are not being adhered to.
Okay, my last question to you, and that too in the same breath. 358 and 359 of Indian Constitution. These two articles deals with suspension of fundamental rights.
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly describe the distinction between the two, 358 and 359?
Sir, if I remember it correctly, 358 we have the suspension of Article 19 of Indian Constitution.
Yes.
So there are 6 rights over there, and 359 talks about suspension of the other rights.
So all rights which are guaranteed by Indian Constitution can be suspended, or there are certain exceptions to it in case of national emergency?
So there are certain exceptions. Right to life and liberty cannot be suspended, for example.
Okay, that is Article 21. What else?
Yes, sir. And I think there's one more article that is skipping my mind.
Article 20 and 21. These two articles are the ones which cannot be suspended. Thank you.
Thank you,
Ma'am,
sir.
please.
Satendra.
Yes, ma'am.
Satendra, you're working as a commissioner, Mahe, right? There in Mahe.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me that, as you have quite a good experience, how would you make Delhi a safer place for women? What measures you're going to take?
Something that we did in Mahe, for example, for the other purposes, but that may be replicated. I think the municipality can be really broken down to the wards. So it comes down to the ward members to mobilize people, students, NSS communities, and other people, to create broader awareness and to ensure that more and more women participate in the management of the local administration. This is the second point. And thirdly, municipality has this responsibility to ensure street lights everywhere, safer roads everywhere, and to ensure that there are no dark spots which can be taken advantage of by the notorious sections.
So, what I could make out from these two measures which you have been, taken there. One is the surveillance, which you are going to increase, and another is the awareness.
No, ma'am, no surveillance. Street lights will provide you it will get rid of darkness and dark spots which can be used by people. Women would be scared to venture out into the open areas, into public spaces. But when you have street lights, when you have clear roads, when you have people on the roads, when you have women participating in the public institutions, you will have women less fearful of stepping out of their homes.
That's fine. I take your point. Tell me, how would you change the mentalities of men? You got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
The men in mentalities. How are you going to change it?
I think the first way, I was reading a book, a work by Ruqayya Sheikhavat Hussain. She's written wherein the women are managing all affairs of the world and men are behind the locked doors. So we need to have some sort of design wherein the world is designed from a woman's perspective and women are venturing out in the public spaces. Once they reclaim public spaces, there'll be too many for the men to, men will not be able to harass them or use their domination or patriarchy upon them. It is the responsibility of the stakeholders, institutions, and government to ensure that more and more women venture out into the public spaces and reclaim public spaces and reclaim all that is dominated by men. So, for example, when I was in Pondicherry, we started inducting women self-help groups in the training for artificial insemination of the cattle. Artificial insemination traditionally happens to be a male's bastion. So we breached that fortress and we had success. These kind of spaces wherein it's an exclusive domain of men, being it cooking for marriages or stitching, like being a tailor, these spaces should be reclaimed by women.
Okay, great. Tell me how you're going to ensure right and dignity of transgender people. Yesterday I came across with a very sad news of one transgender person, dying by suicide.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to ensure right and dignity for them, other than the governmental measures which have been taken already?
Mm-hmm. So ma'am, the first thing for right and dignity is the enforcement of constitutional provisions, and there have been Supreme Court judgments. There have been NALSA judgments also which give them rights, and there is an act which has come out. Other than that, what we need to do is promote gender education in our schools and in our communities. We need to create more awareness. Along with the awareness, we need to make sure that the transgender people are themselves invited into our institutions, universities, schools to address and put across their concerns. What leads to discrimination is the lack of understanding and lack of empathy. That can be generated when we hear them out and when we hear them out with empathy.
Okay. My final question to you, as you have experience of teaching, in Delhi University as well, what is wrong with the ad hoc system? Why was it in news so much?
So there's one of the reasons for why I switched for civil services from being an assistant professor is the ad hocism itself. The first thing that is wrong with the system is that it does not give you sufficient space to experiment with the teaching methodology. And secondly, there is a sword hanging down on your neck. You may be dismissed any moment. And that fear itself leads you to unwanted psychophancy and things like that, and you do not focus on your work in an impartial and efficient manner.
Satender, I would like to intervene here. Being so talented, having, so much of relevant degrees also, yet our youths are, under the pressure of insecurity. So somewhere I could also sense that the insecurity was there in you also.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that the confidence is not, our education system is not instilling that confidence in our youths?
I beg to differ. It's not about the confidence. It's about having the space and opportunity to experiment, to explore, and to create differences. That the ability to create difference only comes when you're sure that tomorrow the kind of work you're doing is going to take 100 days and you've completed 50 days work. You want to be sure that those rest of the 50 days you'll get to work so that you complete your 100 days assignment and create some difference. So to explore and experiment and to bring something new to the table, you need to feel safe and secure that your basic bread and butter is taken care of.
That's great. Thank you, Satender.
Thank you, ma'am.
Satender,
Sir.
Your MPhil research area, I find it particularly interesting. So in a global order where theories like realism mainly focus on the power dynamics, how do you think the emotions are playing a dominant role in current world order?
So my research stipulates that the quote-unquote rational actions by the state that the theories talk about are actually emotional actions. It's the emotions which drive the countries to take the kind of rational action they're taking. So, two examples. Russia is very emotional about its sphere of influence. And the current Russian president is very emotional about the Soviet Union era and Soviet dominance. And to revive that, he has gone all out for war and invaded an independent country for 3 years. So that is the emotion. This cannot really be justified by the use of reason. This can be justified by emotion.
Right.
And so my second example is about China. China has this emotion called humiliation. What happened to them in 1930s after Japanese invasion? they're very particular to educate, socialize, and culture their subjects into this humiliation and keep talking about never again. And this is the reason for their aggression externally as well as domestically.
Okay. You rightly mentioned, but I am of the opinion that emotions and feelings, if not checked properly, may turn into situations where they may go beyond control. And one such example of this happening is the concept of ultranationalism. Do you think that ultranationalism is a hazard?
I agree with you. The emotions, when unchecked, may really be counterproductive. And whereas national emotion, that nationalism is a emotion, is a sense of belonging. Ultranationalism is definitely a hazard for humanity. And we need to have nationalism and as well as cosmopolitanism, internationalism as human emotions.
Satender, can you please tell me that what is the importance of emotional intelligence for a civil servant?
So it's very profoundly important. Firstly, a civil servant needs to understand her emotions, the kind of emotional state she is today. So whether she is feeling upset, she is feeling angry, she is feeling exasperated, and channelize those emotions properly. Secondly, the civil servant needs to understand the emotions of others through their body language, through their tone and texture in their voice, as to what kind of emotional state they are in right now and where is it that they're coming from.
Right. Satender, I see that you were an active member of Hindi Literary Society and you also recite Hindustani poetry. I see two key terms here, that is Hindi and Hindustani. Is there a difference between these two?
To my mind, there is no difference, but some people have created a difference between Prakritic and Sanskritized Hindi as well as Persianized Urdu, as they consider it two different languages. I consider it one single language, which is Hindustani, which has Sanskritized terminology as well as Persianized one.
Okay, so if you were to offer certain examples, citing certain words, would you be able to cite them as part of Hindi and Hindustani?
So in Hindi, we can cite the works like that of Jaishankar Prasad,
right?
Kamaini, for example. And if you want to talk about Hindustani, we can think about the poets like Gulzar, Javed Akhtar, and the poets like Wasim Barelvi, for example, and also the other poets who are writing in Nai Kavita.
Okay. Satender, my last question to you. Music is an integral part of art and literature, right? So in India, we prominently have two forms of classical music, that is Hindustani and Carnatic. Can you highlight certain key differences between these two forms?
Yes, sir. So Hindustani music firstly has a lot of Persian influence and it has changed. Wherein Carnatic music is still steeped in traditions of India. And secondly, Hindustani music is divided into gharanas. There are so many gharanas, Mewati gharana, Jaipur gharana, etc. Wherein Carnatic music has no gharana system. In terms of the use of instruments, there are different instruments being used. For example, in Hindustani music, you have tabla, sitar.
So we are witnessing these new forms of music developing, particularly
Yes,
to say the fusion music.
Right.
Do you see that these new forms are diluting the traditional and classical nature of our music forms?
So I think new fusion is being created. There are fusions which are between Hindustani music and Western music. So you have harmonium and guitar or tabla and guitar going together. And some new singing styles are also being created.
My core question remains unanswered. Do you think that this is diluting the classical status of these music forms?
No, I do not really agree with that. I beg to differ, because classical music and its nature is intact. And this evolution into new forms is the part of cultural evolution, the natural evolution of a culture.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Satendra,
Sir.
we know that Finance Ministry happens to be the nodal agency for the preparation of the budget.
Sir.
So, while preparing budget, what component does Finance Ministry takes in to prepare the budget?
So the demands are, they evolve from below, and department-wise they go to the finance ministry, and then they prepare the budget.
No, I mean to say that what other prominent component it looks while preparing the budget apart from this?
Sir, I'm not
This-
very sure, sir.
Okay, just like previous year budget,
Okay, sir.
that kind of. Anyway, uh, while going through the Prime Minister's statement in terms of the pay commission, 8 pay commission to be commissioned, what are the criteria, the basis on which the minimum wages has to be finalized?
Sir, I have not followed that news, and that's slipping my mind on the recommendations of pay commissions and what are their criteria.
Okay, you comes from Western UP, hope so, and mob lynching over there is on regular basis. It keeps on happening. Under BNS, how it has been defined?
There's a section on BNS on mob lynching, and it's about lynching somebody on a variety of grounds, like a mob, harassing somebody or lynching somebody, but I do not recollect the exact terminology.
What will be the size of that mob?
I do not think that has been defined.
It has been.
So, okay.
Anyway, see, there are multiple grounds, the basis on which the local self-government has been classified into the panchayats and the municipalities. So what all are those grounds?
Sir, urbanization is one ground. So the metropolitan areas, for example, have corporations. And then the second categories of those councils. And then there is town councils. And panchayats are largely for the rural areas.
And what population size or some economic criteria, just like primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, that also becomes the ground, na?
Yes, sir. I'm not aware of that, sir.
Anyway, my last question. How do you see conflict in the organization?
How do we
see conflict in the organization?
Sir, we are all different individuals, differently situated, coming from different places. And we are framed in a way that the difference of perspectives has to happen. So conflicts are in a way the manifestation of different people asserting their different perspectives. This can be fruitful for the organization if this is worked out in an amicable manner.
So,
Satender, tell me, what difficulties are faced by differently abled people in the society?
Sir, many difficulties are faced. Firstly, the stigma and stereotypes are there. The problem with stereotypes is that they do not go even at the face of facts. And unfortunately, we have a kind of culture where previous lives and previous births and karma is being associated with the kind of suffering the disabled are going through. And thirdly, there are problems in terms of accessibility, acceptability, and accommodation.
So what the government has done for them?
So government has come out with an act, RPD Act 2016. It has come out with Sugamya Bharat Mission. It is constantly distributing the aids to the differently abled people. It is also providing them reservation in various jobs and education.
Is it all enough, or you suggest some more concessions or more rights to be given to differently abled people?
Yes, sir. So my understanding is that we need to create more intersectionalities. Ma'am was asking a question earlier. So we need to have intersectionalities created between the people with different abilities, women, transgenders, and the poor and the people who are exploited on the basis of caste. These intersectionalities have very many commonalities. So once we address these commonalities and make the world and the country safer for everybody, everybody will be good enough.
One final question. What have you done for their welfare in your life as an individual?
So, sir, first thing I do is I try and motivate them. And I tell them that, there are more than 100 ways to accomplish a particular action. So if something has been hindered for you, just find out the other way to do that thing. And I tell them that disability is the part of diversity. It's not something which is inferiority, it's just part of diversity and difference. And at my workplace, I try and make sure that the corporations and institutions created for them are functioning effectively.
Thank you very much, Satender. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is
Thanks,
over.
sir.
You may go now.
Thanks, sir. Sir, may I come in?
Yes, come in. Sit down, Satender.
Sir.
When is your interview, Satender?
Sir, it's on 20th of Jan.
28th of Jan.
Yes, sir.
Which attempt is this for you?
So this is my last attempt.
Last
My
attempt.
Yes, sir.
And interview at the civil services?
This is going to be the 4th interview, sir.
4th interview.
Yes, sir.
What was your marks in earlier interviews?
Sir, I've been getting 176, 173, 176 like that.
176. The range is between 173 to 176.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you analyze why you couldn't get 200?
So now I'm in the process of analyzing it. Firstly, my answers are not crisp and they're extrapolating on unnecessary aspects. And maybe I lack I don't smile and I take it very seriously. And third thing that I'm finding is that sometimes I do not really precisely target the question.
Yeah. Satender, actually, you are a wonderful candidate.
Sir.
And you have proved it also. Getting 173, 176 is also not a joke. Normal candidates don't get in this range.
Sir.
But you are one person who is capable of getting even 200 plus.
Sir.
You have a gift of the gab. Your communication skill is excellent. You could articulate your views. The way you speak, the way you creates an impression.
Sir.
So that I have no doubt in our mind that you will be able to leave your impression.
Thanks, sir.
While interacting with a board member. There are certain things which are very essential for you to ensure that you get a much better score than what you have been getting. And first and foremost quality in a bureaucrat is his personal integrity.
Sir.
Personal integrity, there has to be honesty of purpose in all his statements.
Yes, sir.
You can't be giving any statement, any answers based on conjectures and surmises. No guesswork. It's absolutely no.
Okay, sir.
What has happened today, you try to get into that area once or twice, isn't
Yes,
it? You must avoid that.
Sure,
You
sir.
must shun that. That's important because now you are already a part of the bureaucracy. You know how important it is to maintain your ethical values,
Yes.
isn't it? So make sure that wherever you don't know answers, don't venture into that area.
Yes, sir.
Simply say, sir, sorry, sir. Many times you said sorry.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter. If you don't know why to get into that area, because that is one. Number two, as you have rightly mentioned, answers have to be very, very crisp.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely focused answers to the point. It should not include any introduction or any foreword, isn't it?
Sure, sir.
So that is number two. Number three, on many issues like any debatable issues or contentious issues, like your so many things are happening in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So some questions may be asked regarding those events. There you are expected to give a very, very balanced view.
Yes, sir.
Like your bulldozer culture or your any other issue related to UP. So that is third thing. Fourth is you have to understand intent of the question. What is the essence of the question? And as I said earlier, and try to answer to the point according to the needs of the question.
Sure, sir.
That is next. And then other qualities, you are not argumentative. That some candidates keep on arguing also. You did not show any trace of being argumentative. That is a good quality in you. So you have, if you maintain all these 4 or 5 parameters, then nothing can stop you from getting marks in the range of 200 or so.
Thank you, sir.
So now coming to today's nuts and bolts. So first, the very first question which I asked you about the pith and substance doctrine.
Yes, sir.
You should have said because that's the first time you are going to make an impression, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You don't know, say, sir, I have not heard about it. But then you try to hazard a guess. The probabilities dealing with the Supreme Court and Judiciary and all that. Why to get into that area? Okay. So learn a lesson from this, that wherever you don't know, don't get into that. Then similarly, Article 365, 356, 358, 59
Yes,
and
sir.
all that, you got confused, isn't it? So you said, let me start with Article 365. So if Article 365 is not complied with by the states, then Article 356 comes into picture, isn't it? So just think for a while, collect your ideas, and then speak, then it will be better. Then you see, you are working as a municipal commissioner,
Yes, sir.
holding a very responsible post in Mahe. So what is the job profile? You know the job profile. When details were asked, how classification is done between urban local bodies and rural institutions, what is the criteria and all that, we wanted a much more informed answer from you
Yes,
than
sir.
what you said. So these are your strong areas. Now that you are a part of the bureaucracy, these are your strong areas. You have worked in as a rural development officer also somewhere I was reading.
Yes, sir.
So Panchayati Raj institutions, how they are functioning, what are the problems. Try to give very logical answers, 1, 2, 3, 4 points and all that. So because you have all the good qualities and you are already a part of the bureaucracy. And on the top of it, there is one issue which is generally asked to all bureaucrats, is the issue of corruption. It is one issue which is eating into the vitals of our society, isn't it? So how do you think that corruption can be minimized? It cannot be eradicated, it cannot be, but it can be reduced. So do you have any plan of action in your any vision, or what all you have done? And similarly, as for you are concerned, the last question when I asked you about the differently abled person, which you handled very well. This is how the answer should be. That was 100%, you get 100 on 100 on this answer. You are absolutely apt answer you have given on the last question. These are only small things. I don't need to tell you much more than what I have said just now. If we have any questions to ask, feel free to ask.
Sir, how do we make sure the answer is correct? So what happens is, when we answer, we're actually thinking while answering, because we do not have sufficient time to formulate an answer.
That is how it is. That is how it is. You think while speaking, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So articulation means that just stop for 5 seconds, because somewhere it is there behind the back of your mind. Just try to recollect if you are able. If you are not able to, just leave it. Just leave it. Just in your eagerness to answer, you should not give a palpably wrong answer.
Okay,
Then your personality becomes suspect then, isn't
Sure,
it?
sir.
So that the absolute honesty is very important. And I only hope that this time when you go for the interview, questions, opinion-based questions are more asked, so that you are very comfortable. Because whenever, which we have noticed today, whenever opinion-based questions are asked, you are at your best. Whenever facts and figures are placed before you, then you grope for finding answers. So facts and figures can't be manufactured in 10 days time or 5 days time. So don't bother about that. Only thing is that, as because your interview is on 28th, first is a presentation of budget. So budget paper, your answer was absolutely perfunctory, I must say.
Sir.
So if you had said that these are the key documents which are submitted and all that, then probably board would get impressed that this boy at least knows how budget is presented and all that. At least budget part you should prepare.
Sure,
you may
sir.
not get questions, but if at all you get question, you are not found wanting in answers.
Yes, sir.
So budget is one area because of the date. So budget is one area which is important. Otherwise, political science is your question, and your questions related to emotions and realities. It has its own perspective, and it's very good. Everyone has his own perspective, but the way you try to explain, we liked it. That's really very wonderful perspective which you have tried to explain.
Thank you, sir.
So have confidence in yourself. Go with a positive body language and some smile on your face. Don't look so serious. isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you will do wonders. No doubt. And this time luck will favor you, and you may get the job of your dream.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All the best to you.
Thanks, sir.
Do you have any questions to ask?
Oh, just like I am aware that I need to brush up on economics as well as defense, because these are the areas where a lot of facts and
Correct.
figures are coming from.
Correct.
And also, sir, I was not very sure. Whatever I read on local administration, I did not read on the criteria. Like, what are the criteria on which we like?
There is a criteria, but as I told you, if you don't know, admit, sir, I am not aware.
Yes, sir.
Matter ends there. But what happens, you start explaining, then you stop. That should not be there.
Sure, sir.
Show your ignorance. Yes, so many things we don't know. This also I don't know. That doesn't impact your personality. It is a test of your personality, isn't it? It's not a test of your knowledge. Knowledge has already been tested.
Yes, sir.
So your personality is in the focus.
Sure, sir.
So show all exemplary qualities of your personality, isn't it?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you,
All
sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.